Tony Fountain from Ray White Mittagong here, and welcome to another edition of what's on this weekend in the Highlands for the 31st of March and up to the 2nd of April. So here we are today. We're based here with my friend Ken Street. We're here in Highland Pretty, his business in Wattle Lane, and to a great degree there's a fair bit of personal stuff here because Ken's parents were very good, very dear quarter horse clients of mine. Their Golden Valley started out at Canyon Lea, and his father Sir Lawrence was the Chief Justice of New South Wales and Lieutenant Governor, and I always used to get a laugh that I'd go out there to look at the horses and here's a man of such a high public position wandering around with a bloody bum out of his jeans and all the rest of it, but he's a great man. It was, I'll tell the story on him now shortly. In the early days with our pedigree forms used to be that airmail weight paper, and Sir Lawrence would have his secretary ring me up and could Sir Lawrence get 20 or 30 pedigree forms. So I'd send them down to him and he'd ring again a few months later and I said to him one day, I said, Sir Lawrence, what do you do with all these forms? And he said, I did, and he had an encyclopedic knowledge of quarter horses. He'd say, well, I filled in the forms because there's first generation, second generation, third generation. So he said I put in, King Ranch for Lido over Golden Valley, whatever the mare's name was or whatever. So that's fair enough. And then we were some from where we were, and I said to him, I said, you sit over some Chief Justice, some pretty high cases. I said, don't you ever get bored with it? You can't listen to every word. He said, Tony, that's why I've got the forms. Anyway, wonderful man. Anyway, Ken, let's get back to Highland Printing. So when did you form the business?
Tony, I actually bought the business in about 2004.
Right.
So I've been here for quite a while.
Long while. You're always here in Wattle Lane?
No, we've moved.
No, you were down at the back of the Grand of the Royal.
Yes, we're on Station Street. We were out over in Althorn Street for a while. We've moved around.
That's right, because when I first met you, you were at down in Station Street. Because Ken's been he's been my printer since 2005. So there we go.
Yes.
So what you cover the full range of printing here?
Yeah. Look, general printing, copying, binding, posters. Yep. Small signs, all sorts of things, envelopes, corflutes, yes.
Well folks, I can tell you what, I can really recommend, if you're looking for any type of printing job, this is the man to talk to. Heidi around the corners of the right hand man, she's probably listening, so right hand woman, if that's the right, I'm in trouble with the feminists now, but anyway, this is the firm to deal with. So that's Highland Printing. So let's get on to this weekend, and this is a big weekend, isn't it, with Brigadoon at Bundadoon.
This is going to be a huge weekend.
Unbelievable, 20-odd thousand people. Yeah. So what we've got on there today, or tonight, there's the 40th anniversary gala dinner. That's on at Bundadoon at 7 o'clock. Then tomorrow's the big parade, the big gathering day, probably about 20-odd thousand people. Jimmy Barnes is the chieftain of the year, so from Glasgow, so he's fair income about the whole. It's just a magnificent day, and if you've got any Scottish blood squirt, you got any Scottish blood in you?
A little bit, there is, somewhere back there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Fitted for Brigadoon. Well, my mob were Douglas's, somewhere along the line they got knocked off, but anyway. And then, so tomorrow's the big parade, then tomorrow night, Saturday night, is Pipe the Haggis, that's the 40th anniversary dinner. That's being held at the Bundadoon Guest House. And then, of course, as I said, the gathering is on, and there's every sort of Highland event there, bands, there's throwing big ghoulies, cavers. Rob Parker, who's a dear friend of mine who I'll be interviewing, he's the instructor at Oxley College for bagpipes.
Oh, that's good.
Glenn Fiddick, man, Parker, you need to get Glenn Fiddick to sponsor this, get free scotch. Anyway, so that's that. So that's the weekend there, but it will be a really big one. Now on to the markets, this weekend's markets, and once again, they're proving very popular.
Unbelievably popular. It's been a huge growth area in the Highlands over the last 5-10 years. I've
just been curious the last few I've been to just get a few things to see the people actually coming up to the Highlands to buy all that foods and that, and then have a day here doing whatever and go back to Sydney.
Destination Southern Highlands.
You're on the ball, son.
That's
Well
it.
done. What's your name again? So Carlo Vale on tomorrow from 9 till 2. Exeter is also on from 9 to 2, so you can call in there on the way to Brigadoon. Now next Thursday, I'll just jump ahead a little bit. Next Thursday, the Railway Street Market at Mossvale's on again. That runs from 3 till 6 o'clock. And then back to Bundanoon on Sunday. The Bundanoon Makers Market is on from 8:30 till 2. So that's a ton of opportunity here to be buying really fresh Highland produce and goods and all the rest of it. Beautiful. Okay, garden wise, we've got the Red Cow at Sutton Forest. That's open from 10 till 4 on Saturday and Sunday, and also Perennial Hill where we were last week, up there in Nero Street at Mittagong. Then during the week there's a very unusual one in the 000 Challenge. You heard about that?
No, what's the 000
Well, I'll tell you
Challenge?
all about it.
Thank
Well,
you.
it's a cricket game. It plays for charity with all 000 is referring to 000 when you die for trouble. So there's the Fireys, the police, the Ambos are all playing cricket to raise funds, and it's called the 000 Challenge.
Ah,
So that's on a Bradman Oval. Gee, that's a great facility,
that
isn't
sounds
it?
good. Yeah, oh,
Everything
Bradman
happens
Oval's
to happen.
unbelievable.
And speaking of Bradman Oval, do you like pies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, who doesn't?
Who doesn't like pies? Well, you know there's 28 pie makers in the Southern Highlands?
Only 28.
Oh, well.
We've got to do something about that.
Fill them up. Anyway, on Monday, coming up in June is Pie Time. The Pie Time Festival is a week of pies in June, and the festival's being launched on Monday at 9:15 at Bradman Oval, and Today Show are coming down to run it from here as well. So
Yes, I heard they were coming down.
yeah, so that's on Monday. So mate, it's all happening, isn't it?
That's terrific.
Yeah.
And then next week we're talking about the Barrow Blacks and what's happening with rugby.
It's all happening. It's all the go. Tell us all about it.
No, that's for you for next week.
Okay, righto. That's a teaser for next week. So, folks, that's it. Back to real estate. Real estate market is really just still charging ahead. There's a whole heap of buyers who can't get the properties they're after. So, if you are thinking of listing, please give me a call. All my details are just there at the end. Only too pleased to have a coffee with you and just run you through what's happening in the Highlands, etc. So, Ken, thanks very much for being part of it.
Tony, pleasure.
Right, my boy. And folks, don't forget Highland Printing. If you want anything printed at all, this is the man, and Heidi round the corner. Okay, folks, and remember, as long as you've got a pulse, you're having a good day. Hooroo.